Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. When we said that qiyas is divided into Iqtirā'ī and Istithnā'ī, right? Just share the text with him so he can read it as well. Yeah, just get him a book. When we said that qiyas is divided into Iqtirā'ī and Istithnā'ī, we covered what Iqtirā'ī meant. And what do we call Iqtirā'ī in English? Conjunctive. And Istithnā'ī is hypothetical. And of course, with the hypothetical syllogism, it is further divided into connected and disconnected, munfasil and muttasil, right? We've covered an example of what it is, and it's all about what the lazim and the malzoom were. And we said that in the case of the lazim and the malzoom, the lazim and the malzoom, it is all about the talazum that happens between them, right? If the sun comes out, it will be daytime, right? So there is a mulazama that's happening between tulu' al-shams and daw' al-nahar, right? These things are of course naturally obvious. So let's read, and while we are reading, we will be able to further understand what is there. Start reading, Amir. In the general.
In the general, necessary, connected, conditional proposition, major premise is necessary, lazim, to the minor premise. And the minor is malzoom for it.
Okay, so that's a very long sentence, isn't it? Right? Al-Qadiyya, right? Al-Qadiyya, which is the proposition. Al-Shartiyya, which is conditional. We've covered that as well. Shartiyya proposition, a conditional proposition. If the sun is out, there will be light, right? Conditional proposition. If there is this, then there will be this, right? Now, then we have connected and disconnected. This is connected. We also have universal here, which is going to be the general, the kulli, right? And we also have that it is lazim, that it is necessary. So the general, necessary, connected, conditional proposition. All these are a part of the one same thing. So in this, right, the conclusion will be necessary from as a result of the premise. And there will be the premise, of course, connected by necessity to the conclusion. That's what we call the talazum, or the necessary relation between them. Talazum. If you haven't watched the recordings for our previous classes and you have been absent, then make sure you do so. Last week, the week before, and this week, we've got a lot of absences, unfortunately. So make sure that you catch up. Okay? The major premise is necessary to the minor premise. the minor premise that was going to be lazim, and the minor premise is malzoom for the major premise. And therefore, if there is a lazim and a malzoom, there has to be talazum, which means a necessary relation between the minor premise and the major premise, a connection between the major premise and the minor premise. Carry on, Amir.
And therefore, the law of talazum is applicable. Therefore, the connected hypothetical syllogism results in either the major in itself with an exception of the minor, because if the malzoom exists, the lazim exists. Like saying, anytime there is fire, heat exists.
Okay, so that means that there is going to be, in the connected hypothetical syllogism, there's going to be two cases, two scenarios. Either put number one on top of that, one, and then go down 4 lines, and either, that's scenario number 2, right? Results in either the major in itself with an exemption of the exception of the minor, or either the opposite of the minor with the exception of the opposite of the major, right? Read that again, please. Either the major
in itself with an exception of the minor, because if the malzoom exists, the lazim exists. Like saying, anytime there is fire, heat exists. But fire exists, therefore heat exists.
Is that right? No? No? Why no? Okay, so whenever you have, remember what we said in our last lesson. Which one is more general, fire or heat? Heat. Because you can have heat without fire, but you can't have fire without heat. Did I say that right? What's an example of heat without fire? Fire, friction, right? If someone gives you a rajdi, ya Sayyid Nisar, your cheek is going to get, your right cheek is going to get hot. What if I hit him with my right hand? If I hit him with my right hand, if I give you a rajdi, you know what rajdi? Rajdi is Iraqi for sili. Lebanese, they say kaf. Iraqis, they say rajdi. See, rajdi sounds more violent than kaf. Kaf is very subtle. Yeah. No. So, which one's more general? Heat is more general than fire. Read that again, please, Amir.
Either the major in itself with an exception of the minor, because if the malzoom exists, the lazim exists. Like saying, anytime there is fire, heat exists. But fire exists, therefore heat exists.
Yes. So if the malzoom exists, what's the malzoom here? Fire. Then the lazim is going to exist, and that is heat. Carry on.
And either the opposite of minor with the exception of the opposite of the major, which is lazim. Because with the negation of the lazim, the malzoom is negated. Like saying, every time the sun rises, there will be day. But the day does not exist, therefore the sun did not rise. Okay.
So here we're just flipping it over and we're saying the opposites, right? The naqid, the opposites, right? We're negating the opposites, right? Is going to be negating the other opposite of the malzoom. Removing the lazim is going to remove the malzoom. And that's why these are called connected hypothetical syllogisms, because they are connected. Yes.
With the second one, which one is lazim so every time the sun rises in the day?
Which one is the lazim? Huh?
Because the lazim was negated.
Why?
Are they equal?
No.
The day is the lazim, isn't that? Sample is negated, right?
What?
In the second line, the lazim is being negated, which is the day.
It's the sun that is the lazim, man. Why no? What? Okay, what's the minor here? What's the minor premise? What? Okay, and what's the major premise? Okay, so the day is the lazim. The day is the lazim, right? The malzoom is the rising, right? And therefore, it's going to talk about the malzoom not happening as a result of the lazim not happening. Okay, so with the negating of the day, which is the lazim, there is a negating of the malzoom, which is the sun not rising. Which is the sun not rising. Okay? Right? Now here, of course, there's always going to need to be a kind of explanation that needs to happen for a person to be more aware of the necessary connection and the mulazama between the lazim and the malzoom. Sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it's a little bit vague, and it needs to be explained. Carry on.
In a qiyas istithnā'ī, it is necessary for the person doing so to first explain the reason for the mulazama between the minor and the major, and second, to prove the minor in order to necessitate the confirming of the major, or invalidating the major in order to negate the minor.
Assent. Thank you. All right, number two.
Number two, disconnected hypothetical syllogism. Hypothetical syllogism, where the conditional proposition is detached from it, and if it was really disconnected, it will result in the very thing of one and the opposite of the other, and with expecting the opposite of any side and having the other side.
Yeah, so repeat that paragraph again, please.
A hypothetical syllogism where the conditional proposition is detached from it, and if it was really disconnected, it will result in the very thing of one and the opposite of the other, and with expecting the opposite of any side and having the other side.
Accepting.
Accepting the opposite of any side and having the other side.
Yeah. Accepting. What's accepting mean? Accepting. Huh? Yeah. Accepting. يعني istithna. يعني removing, not including, right? The opposite of any side and having the other sides, right? Which basically means that the قضية الشرطية is that there is a real disconnection between the two, where it's either completely disconnected, right, or it has no relation between the other in that sense. Example for this is a number is either odd or even, but it is even, so the number is not odd, but it is odd, so the number is not even, but it is not even, so the number is odd, but it is not odd, so the number is even, right? This is what we refer to as a qiyas istithnā'ī munfasil. In our next lesson, 5 examples for a muttasil, 5 examples for a munfasil. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.